This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we're covering the cartoon Ultra Lord. Wait, no, we're covering the cartoon Planet Sheen. You know, I was thinking, Joel.
Yes, Andrew.
Everyone knows. I told everyone on social media a week ago, due to an audio file corruption, we had to skip out. There was no time to make a new episode, really.
No.
And I was thinking about it. I was like, we could have the last, like the blooper of this episode, just be the last minutes of that audio of my dogs barking, and then it going. Because that's what happened. I had to go give something to someone outside, and you can hear it slowly happening. And then, it just, for whatever reason, because I checked all my equipment, it just stopped.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
We apologize for the inconvenience.
Yeah. We gave you guys a break from listening to us.
Yeah. The job of all the people that we pay to listen to the show. Yep. That's where the Patreon money goes. It goes to bots to like fluff up the numbers of this show.
I don't know, man. Maybe we should get some bots to fluff up these numbers. I don't know, man.
No, we're doing pretty good.
I like it. Shout out to all the people, our loyal fans. Thank you, guys.
We're number 29 on the chart list in Pakistan. So
hey,
I don't know what they're doing listening to us, but
I think we officially have a higher rating than Clemson football right now. So, hey.
Ba-ba-boom. Very localized reference.
Yeah, the people in Pakistan.
I feel like a few people would get it.
Yeah, our fans in Pakistan, they're like, yep, I got that one.
Very good. Very, very good.
Oh, man. But Planet Sheen, yes.
Planet Sheen, our second attempt at Planet... You know, it hurts worse because it's Planet Sheen. Because we got to talk about this piece of shit once.
Ain't nobody wanting to talk about this 2 times in a row. I gotcha.
No. But let's, without further ado, let's review that theme song.
Let's hit it.
Sheen, do not push this button.
Dogs like trees, cows like monkeys. Planet Sheen is oh so funky.
Okay, I get the last part, but the first 2 lines, you're just off, bro.
Skateboards rock, shoes like feetsies. You are watching Planet Sheensies.
Okay, it's not called Planet Sheensies.
Dance.
You know what they say, Sheen? It ain't a party.
You know, I was really hoping that this thing would be better the second time.
Oh, no.
No, it's just
it's just as bad.
Just as bad. Definitely one of those things. It's just a terrible song. We talked about this last time, but it's a 0.
I was gonna give it a 1.
I
just because the beat is kind of funky, but everything else about it is terrible.
It goes on for like a minute. It is just awful. I think I can't remember if I gave it a 1 or a 0 on the last recording.
Yeah.
But since this is the second time I've had to listen to it, it's getting a 0.
It's definitely a 0
It's getting
now.
a 0.
So, another reason I want to give it a 1 instead of a flat 0 is it does prepare you for what you're getting into, which is what a theme song is for. Unfortunately, it's more of a warning. This is about to be the most annoying 22 minutes and commercials of your entire life.
Yeah.
Every episode is absolutely just Sheen's voice is the worst.
Dude.
He was definitely used in small doses in Jimmy Neutron, but having him front and center, it was the biggest mistake.
Yep.
But Joel, let's talk about how this got made.
Let's, Andrew. So, we cannot talk about Planet Sheen without first talking about Jimmy Neutron. So, Planet Sheen is, I guess you would consider it the second spinoff of the Jimmy Neutron movie.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Neutron, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, by the way, good theme song.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, great theme song. So, the movie released back in 2001. We're not going to talk too much about the movie. Just remember 2001, that's when the movie came out.
Patrick Stewart plays an egg.
There you go. Sir Patrick Stewart.
A knight.
How dare you, Andrew? Belittle.
Do you think they're like how some doctors get real mad if you call them like Mr. or Mrs.?
Oh yeah.
They're just like, hey, Mr. Thompson. They're like, that's Dr. Thompson. I didn't spend 4 extra years in bullshit school for you to call me Mr. I'm like, okay.
Just like, okay, that's who you are. All right, sounds good.
That's you, huh?
Maybe we should just come up with some like made up title for everybody else. Like, okay, if I'm to call you Doctor, I'm gonna just, I'm gonna come up with some title like Emperor of Space and the Moon Swaney.
Yeah.
Just come up with something.
I don't know.
But so anyways, the movie came out. Huge success. Massive for Nickelodeon. So much that they did a spinoff focused around the boy genius himself, Jimmy Neutron, and basically him and his friends. So during that time when the show was being made and produced, actually I didn't have it here. That show came out 2002. So 1 year after the movie, they make the show.
Oh, yeah.
They
hit the ground running. They kind of knew they had a hit, though.
Oh, yeah, they did. During that time, the company that made the show, DNA Productions, during that time of making the Jimmy Neutron show, they was actually working on a couple of other ideas. Keith Alcorn and Mike Gassaway. They actually started working on this idea called Red Acres. And it was going to be a CGI show about an adult astronaut who basically finds a planet full of dim-witted aliens, and they just get into hijinks from there. Okay? They actually went to Nickelodeon, pitched the idea. Nickelodeon said, nope, we don't like it. So, and it was all because it was adult focused. They didn't want their main character being an adult.
Yeah, that's what you said and then what you clarified. Those are two different things.
Yeah. I realized
there
that.
was an adult, yes.
I realized that.
I was like, yeah. And I in my brain, when you said adult focused, I was like, and he fucks them. I know that that's not what it was, but it's just when you think adult oriented, it's like, yeah, he goes on this planet with a bunch of dim-witted aliens, and then they just start banging.
Just banging.
Because that's what bangulating, sexualitating.
Very surprising that Nickelodeon shot that down, right?
Yeah. But to reiterate, it's you don't really think about it until you look at all their cartoons and everything, but it's like, yeah, none of them star adults.
No.
Like, they're all, because you can't relate to an adult problem. And I thought that was interesting, because I know there are a few cartoons shows on Cartoon Network where they're like, they're young adults or in regular show's case, they're both 23 years old.
Yep.
Like they're adults.
Yep.
So you're just like, oh. But Nickelodeon, apparently, they'll put their damn foot down.
No, yeah. And, I think that's also got to do with the times. I think the market audience started shifting when, like, regular show Adventure Time started coming out. They realized they could have shows for more adult children. You want to call us that?
I think it was Dan Schneider. He was like, nobody over the age of 18 will be a star while I'm in charge. Show more feet.
More feet.
Show more feet in this show about aliens.
I need more
Show me
feet.
some underaged alien feet. And they're like, all right, Dan. Just relax, man.
Dude, just chill out.
Google Dan Schneider. You'll be very, very upset.
Yep.
Anyway.
Creepazoid.
Oh,
100%. Yeah. So they kind of went on this tour of pitching this idea, Red Acres, to a bunch of different networks. Cartoon Network, Disney, Kids, WB, all turned them down. So they kind of went back to the drawing board and they started thinking, okay, we really want to get this show made. What can we do? What can we adjust? And they kind of landed on the idea of, okay, we're making this show for Nickelodeon, Jimmy Neutron. Man, let's use one of their characters and put him as the main character. And who did they land on? Sheen.
Well, originally they wanted to use Carl and Sheen. That's who they came to the table with.
They did. I was just about to get that. Okay, so you are correct. They did first think about Carl and Sheen. They pitched that. The executive for Nick at the time said they should just focus on Sheen, not Carl. But
what a whiff.
The team, I thought this was dumb, but the team basically, they was just like, oh my God, that's going to be so hard for us to do. So what their workaround to this problem was to get a alien who looks exactly like Carl, but just like a sea slug, like a slug version.
Yeah, I called him Caterpillar Carl.
Yeah.
I think his name is Doopy.
It's something like that. I'm sure we're about to get into it, but
it's so. First of all, Sheen is the wrong character to pick to make a series about to begin with. Carl would have been way more interesting.
It should have been flipped. It should have been main character Carl and have an alien version of Sheen. If they would have done,
he would have had like pictures of Jimmy's mom and be like, "I'll get back to you, Mrs. Neutron." I can't. That's a terrible Carl.
I thought that was pretty
Kudos
good.
to Rob Paulson. Kudos to Rob Paulson because he kills that shit. But, yeah.
He kills a lot of shit when he's voice acting.
Do you have croissants on this planet? Shit like that. It writes itself.
Look at it. It probably would have been more interesting with him. But
yeah.
now,
oh, definitely.
But now with this little adjustment, they kind of went back to Nickelodeon, showed them, hey, here's the adjustment that you asked for, and they loved it. They was just like, yes.
Couldn't have been happier.
So
because they thought they struck gold again.
So this show started going into production, and this is where I think they probably started losing a lot of people. This show did not air until 2010.
Yeah.
You're talking about 9 years after the movie. Most of those kids that grew up with Jimmy Neutron, guess what? They're adults now. They probably don't care about Planet Sheen. But the show ran for one season, a total of 25 episodes, and each episode had like 2 segments in it. So you've got 50 segments of Planet Sheen.
That's rough.
That is rough.
That's a lot of Sheen.
Too much Sheen, honestly.
Too much Sheen.
But that is the wild, and
it's only 4 years after the series.
True.
That's still not better.
I mean, because you think, to me, the reason why that series did such a great success is because it came out 1 year. So those kids who love the movie, those still growing up watching that. But I guarantee you, most of them, by the end of that show's run, probably stopped watching. They probably stopped caring about Jimmy Neutron. But that's the wild and crazy story of Planet Sheen. So, Andrew, hit me with the voice cast.
Pretty run-of-the-mill. People who... everyone reprised their roles who were still there.
Okay.
Well, Rob Paulson's in it, but he's not Carl. But you know what I mean. But the voice cast for Planet Sheen are Jeffrey Garcia as Sheen Estevez.
Estevez. You think Sheen is related to like Emilio Estevez and them?
I like to think so.
Yeah.
Fred Tatasciore is Emperor Bleen Xenuon. All these dumb fuck alien names, they piss me off every time. Because I know I'm saying them wrong, but I have no way to tell.
I love science fiction because it's just like, throw a bunch of letters together, that's a name.
I love comics in space, and like I hate it whenever I read them. Because I'm just like, I don't know how to pronounce any of these planets. And then I'll watch a YouTube video of someone discussing them. And I'll be like, damn, I was way off. Bob Joles is Nismith.
Okay.
Rob Paulson is Doppy Blogar Hejingi. Thomas Lennon is Pinter. Pinter.
Okay.
Candy Milo is Princess Om. And finally, Jeff Bennett is Dorcas, and like 50 other things that I'm not about to read. He's one of those guys who's like always something more.
Just, nice little tie-in here, guys, but Princess Om eventually moved to Earth and renamed it to Planet Oo. And then became Princess Ooh,
Ooh, I thought that was Princess Bubblegum.
It is. I'm just, it's pretty similar. Princess Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, she's Princess Bubblegum, not Princess Ooh.
I know, but if you're in charge of a planet, you could probably call yourself Princess Ooh. Okay.
That's fair. So, their other works are Jeffrey Garcia is Pip in Back at the Barnyard.
Okay.
Fred Tatasciore is Samuel L. Jackson in Team America World Police.
Fantastic.
Bob Joles is Bill Green in Big City Greens.
All right.
This one cracked me up. Rob Paulson is Haji in The New Adventures of Johnny Quest.
Oh, that's so cool. Wait, like the late 90s New Adventures?
This one came out from 86 to 87, so probably the one that we were part of.
Yeah.
Thomas Lennon is Lieutenant Jim Dangle in Reno 911.
Very nice.
Candy Milo is Miss Wakeman in My Life as a Teenage Robot.
Okay.
And finally, Jeff Bennett is Eddie in Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Also Johnny Bravo, but you can learn about that in our covering of Johnny Bravo Goes to Bollywood.
They love them.
Might have to go back a few episodes.
They love them in India.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah.
So let's get into this show.
Again.
Sheen, Retroville's most annoying Ultra Lord obsessed resident, goes to Jimmy's house, and there's a rocket there that says, Sheen, do not press. He presses it, and he gets shot way across space to an alien planet. And basically, he's not smart enough to get back home, but the aliens are all also dumb as fuck, so they love him. And he ruins this guy named Dorcas's house. So that's where our conflict comes from.
Okay.
Dorcas hates him. He looks like Emperor Palpatine. Had scurvy. I guess is the best way to put that.
Good.
Emperor Palpatine also doesn't look that great to begin with. So
I just love the idea of Emperor Palpatine over there, like, good. Now hand me that orange.
yeah, it's like. Ugh. So we follow Sheen, and then he meets up with his Carl doppelganger, Doppy. He also doesn't. He doesn't recognize that it's Carl, which is actually a pretty solid joke. So he meets him. He's like, I'm Doppy. And Sheen goes like, you look familiar. And he has like all these like moments with Carl. And he's like, never mind. I can't think of anybody you look like. And I'm like, that's the only good joke in the entire series.
And that's in the first episode.
This show is also, Joel will automatically say a CGI show is not good because of the way it looks.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit more lenient on CGI. Like, for instance, one of my favorite shows of all time is the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show that Nickelodeon made. And it was CGI, but that show is magnificent.
Yeah, well, I'm willing to excuse that style of animation if the show is good. I can give...
that's another good point.
Yeah.
Planet Sheen is just hard to look at. I get that aliens need to look alien, but they're just so jarringly bad. The backgrounds are also they're very bland.
Yep.
For something that got greenlit to assume that it was going to be a hit, you would think that they would try a little harder, especially with like Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is, we know how executives work. I feel like this was just their last attempt to squeeze every penny out of that Jimmy Neutron franchise. And they wanted to cut costs.
I did not say this the last time we recorded it, but I really think they were doing this because they could make spinoffs with it.
Yeah.
And Steve Hindenburg was still alive. And I know one of his things was do not make a spinoff of SpongeBob at all. Because if you've noticed, ever since he's passed away, Nickelodeon has thrown that little respect out the fucking window and has made spin-off after spin. There's 4 SpongeBob spin-offs, maybe 3. They're all bad.
Isn't there one with them as kids now? Like a baby Looney Tunes?
Yes, Camp Coral. That's also CGI.
Ugh.
I feel like CGI, when you make a CGI cartoon now, it's expensive at first, but once you get the models, it becomes incredibly cheap. But then you could say that about Flash animation too. That was one of its big sell points.
But
you can make a character model and you're done.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the production company, they basically did that. They used a bunch of the models from the TV show, the Jimmy Neutron TV show. And they basically just copied and paste, reused a bunch of different stuff from that just to save money. And it didn't work out for them doing that.
So this entire thing is on Paramount Plus if you want to endure through it, or maybe you're one of our Pakistan friends and you need to torture someone for information. Wait, we're not at war anymore. Never mind. Or maybe if you want to torture someone just in general, you could let Planet Sheen let them play
Invite the boys over one night and be like, I got a good show for you guys to watch. And put this on and see who stays your friends afterwards.
Yes. It's real solid, dude.
You know what? I hate this show so much. Our friendship is officially over.
So you'll a lot of the episodes. Oh yeah. So they do have a workaround for Sheen being too dumb to fix his own ship, because he still wants to go home. They meet a monkey No, he's an ape. I can't believe he corrects Sheen so many times because he calls him a monkey.
Yeah.
But he's an ape, and so yeah, Nesmith the ape. He got lost in a wormhole hole in a space expedition, and so he's able to fix the ship because he's a super smart ape.
Yeah.
And that's how they work on Sheen being able to fix it, while Dorcas tries to stop him.
Yeah.
There are, let's see, the Christmas episode where he calls it Thanksgiving. That one was pretty funny. But a lot of them, they're just so infamously bad. Actually, so bad that the creator of Jimmy Neutron, that's what this show should have been called. So they had John A. Davis came on as a creative consultant.
Okay.
And he says in interviews that he was like, we should have never made this.
Yeah.
And it's all because of Sheen. And I remember last week, Joel, I remember this because you had a little fan theory that this was not an accident.
Yes, I was just about to get into my fan theory. I believe that because if I'm not mistaken, Sheen was just like the nuisance of the town.
Yeah, nobody really case in point, Jimmy Neutron isn't really well liked in Retroville either because all of his plans keep on fucking up the town. Carl, he's just Carl.
He's a lovable goof.
Yeah, and I don't think people don't dislike Carl. I just don't think he gets hung around with enough.
Yep.
And then Sheen, like everybody, is just like, there comes that weird Ultra Lord kid again.
Yeah, so my theory is that this was all stage. It was all planned to rid that town of Sheen. And the reason why is because Jimmy Neutron is a boy genius. Let's face it. Jimmy Neutron made a ship as a boy that was capable of this space flight to send Sheen off to a different planet, light years away.
Well, yeah. I mean, even with the movie, he made several ships out of carnival rides.
Exactly.
Capable of flight. So it's like, yeah, he definitely...
You mean to tell...
He definitely could... Yeah, the more I thought about it, since I knew we were going to have to record again, I was like, I couldn't dump this from my brain. So the more I thought about it, I'm like, he's right. Because it got canceled.
Yeah.
And because it got canceled so bad, they were going to make, I guess, another made-for-TV movie. Because Jimmy Neutron had tons of made-for-TV movies back in the day. They were going to do one where Carl and Jimmy go on a rescue mission for Sheen, but that never got made.
Yeah,
and also I feel like Jimmy could have easily found Sheen.
You know that ship had a tracking device in it. You know, Jimmy Neutron probably knew exactly where that ship landed. He probably knew exactly where Sheen was. And let's be honest, in TV fashion, especially with Jimmy Neutron, he will build things incredibly quick.
Yeah.
He could have built a rocket ship to go save his friend probably within a day.
Ben, you might be right.
And then there you go. Sheen's rescued.
I did
come back home.
I did think it was sweet that Sheen wrote his grandma. Because Sheen always brings up his grandma, but then in the show, he talks about his parents. So I'm like, you had parents this whole time? Like, I thought I don't know what I thought. Maybe his parents are out of town always for work because I got to buy him so many Ultra Lord action figures. Or maybe they just don't like being around him. His grandma, Carl, and Jimmy are the only people in existence that can tolerate him enough for an hour or so.
Sheen drove his parents away, and his grandma's just like, Like, Jimmy,
Somebody's got to take care of you.
Jimmy, you gotta ship them off. You gotta send them off the planet. That's the only way.
Yeah, that's probably. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, that's just my little fan theory. I don't know if, we'll never get an answer to it, but that's just what I believe. I believe he was sent there on purpose, because who puts a sign on a button telling one specific person, do not press this?
Yeah, that's definitely like reverse psychology manipulation to get him to press it.
My wife, even to this day, she is a grown-ass woman. If I'm like, hey, don't do this, she'll be like, you know what? Just because you told me not to do it, I'm doing it now. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I'm the same way.
She was like, what?
So, yeah. So, I guess it's time to get to your new reoccurring segment. Reviews that are lost in space and reviews that are Planet Sheen.
Very nice. I like that.
Thank you. I had 2 weeks to think of it, so
I
it's
like
not
it.
really that creative.
So, Andrew, I want to start off by saying this show on IMDb has 2.1K reviews or ratings.
Okay.
It is sitting at
It's pretty high.
Well, it is, but it is sitting at a 2.9 out of 10.
Ooh, yeah, this show was not well received.
It was not.
For a number of reasons, of which we covered.
So this is a 1 out of 10, titled A Unnecessary Spinoff. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Planet Sheen is by far the worst spinoff I've ever seen. With horrible characters, bland animation, and no originality, there was no redeeming qualities to this show at all. Jimmy Neutron was clever, funny, and original, and everything that Planet Sheen isn't. When I first saw this, I was thoroughly disappointed. So disappointed, I cannot believe I used to watch this. Without all of the spunky characters from the original series, Sheen, to be honest, is just an annoying idiot. This seems just like any other time slot filler. It makes you wonder, were they high when they made this? I love Jimmy Neutron, but this is just a disgraceful waste of time.
Woof. Oof. Coming in hot.
He is, man, really ripped into that.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a 10 out of 10 called Planet Sheen is Genius Writing.
Oh, okay.
I've seen the entirety of Planet Sheen over 16 times. I can safely say clocking in at one season, but this is the best show ever created. Anyone who disagrees should see a doctor because they are mentally deranged. My favorite character is Sheen, of course, as he has the most charisma and intricate character development in the show. I could watch Planet Sheen forever. So, Andrew, I guess me and you are just deranged.
He watched 152.5 hours of Planet Sheen.
I do love his comment where he's like, Sheen is my favorite character, and talks about how he has like charisma and his like character development. I'm like, of course you're gonna get this. It's a show about him. I mean, what else? What else did you expect?
Yeah, I think that was a troll review.
It could be.
Either way,
if it's not, then I think this person should go get checked out. You know, he should go to a doctor. You know,
definitely got bodies in the basement.
Oh yeah. But that's it.
He's the guy we talked about earlier who tortures his friends with Planet Sheen, and then if he doesn't like it, he murders.
Oh my God, that means he's tortured 16 people.
Unless, depends on how many people, at a minimum, because he could have done multiple people.
Very true.
More than one person can be tied to a couch.
Very true.
Sounds like a bumper sticker.
More than one people can be tied to a couch.
But I believe that wraps up, hopefully for the final time,
Yep.
Planet Sheen. Any closing thoughts, Joel?
Don't watch it. That's it.
Short and sweet.
That's it.
I feel
You?
For me, also don't watch it. I did super forget, and I'm a little less sympathetic now, but this was requested. It was requested by James Burkett. He went through our website,
Yep.
which I will mention shortly. He did not get back to me about shout-outs. I believe we'll shout out his grandma, since Sheen loves his grandma so much. So, Grandma Burkett, hopefully that's what you're called. This one's for you.
Shout out grandmas.
Anyway, if you have a request, you can go to cartoondumpsterdive.com. There you can request a cartoon, an anime, 2 cartoons to go head-to-head in a junkyard brawl. You can get someone for us to interview. We'll try and ask them. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have a $5 tier that gets you pins, stickers, access to our Discord, bonus episodes, and episodes with extended audio. They add nothing to the Cartoon Dumpster Dive experience other than I apparently talk about food a lot before we start this show. We have a Twitter handle CartoonDD. I guess we should say it's an X now.
Yeah.
But that doesn't roll quite off the tongue.
It really doesn't.
No. It's almost like it's being run by the dumbest businessman in the world. We have a Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads, all Cartoon Dumpster Dive. If you'd like to send us an email, you can send that to cartoondumpsterdive@gmail.com. And as always, we appreciate the 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice so we don't get lost in podcast space and no one watches us anymore or listens. Have a great rest of your week.
See you. Crushed it.
This has been a Lughole podcast.